From Plant Lab in Austin, Texas, this is Stacker News Live!
Well, welcome back to another exciting episode of Stacker News Live. I'm with my BFF with a hard week for me. Keon, how's it going?
Oh, it's a pretty good day. I've had a beer, so I'm a little slurry.
All right, are you drinking Bud Light?
I got buzzed off a Bud Light, a single Bud Light. It's been a good week. Yeah, I went and checked out a new place today to rent.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, and so we might get away from the Airbnb that we've been living by for.
Is it in the same side?
2 years. It's still on the east side. It's quite. Or no, shit! I revealed that, but it's still in Austin, in the same neighborhood I'm living in, and yeah, it's a really cool place. It has really good vibes. It's like a sublease, and then hopefully we can transition to a longer lease. But I'm excited. It's so my rent. The same time last year will have gone if we end up going through with this place, we'll have gone up 50%.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
That neighborhood is like popping off because there is like a big tech company that recently put an office in there.
Inside the neighborhood?
Near that neighborhood. I mean, I already said east side, but there Cloudflare put an office on the east side.
Why would they do that? Weren't they like in the same building as the Commons?
I think they maybe have grown up, but they have a big building. They have like a 5-story, 6-story building on the east side now.
So that's going to be, everybody's going to be moving there now. That's what that means. Like everybody, like a lot of tech companies will be moving on that side.
Yeah, the east side is.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah.
That's a great place. Just for people that aren't from Austin, like the east side is like where what used to be the musicians lived and the artists lived. And when I was growing up living there, we used to just go, to everybody's house and like hang out, bonfires, listen to chill music and very cool vibes, especially during South by. Now it seems like it's kind of that maybe still, but it's turned into an Airbnb nightmare. Sounds like.
Yeah, the vibes are high. I saw a meme on Reddit that basically it was Hood Maps. If you go on Hood Maps, that the side of Austin that I live in is called Airbnb Bros or Airbnb Bros because there are so many Airbnbs in that area, but it's an active gentrification area is really what it is right now.
Yeah. My uncle, he actually purchased 2 houses in the east side in the early 90s for like $30,000 a piece. And he was able to flip them in the late 2010s. So,
wow.
Yeah, dude.
Bankroll.
Get in early.
Heck yeah.
All right, let's get into the top 5 stories of Stacker News Live.
That's right. There's Bitcoin. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Our first story is Nostr Market, simple Bitcoin classifieds for Nostr via the Nostr Market hashtag. This had 18 comments from Anarchio, 112,000 sats. Wow. Those are like Nostr numbers, right?
Nostr's apps. Yeah, they're coming in here. We're seeing some of them. Yeah, it's a pretty cool. I mean, it's a pretty cool little tool. It operates mostly on hashtags.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it kind of describes it at the top. But if you write a post with the hashtag Nostr Market on.
Nice, dude.
On Nostr, it basically ends up in this feed, which leads this feed to be kind of spammy. Unfortunately, maybe they should have a little stricter requirement on like what enters you into this feed. But that's kind of
so people are trying these things.
Yeah, I mean, I think markets on Nostr are actually really interesting because it is censorship resistant, and so you could potentially sell things that you might otherwise get delisted from on like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something. Right now, I mean, it's a very early solution on Nostr, but it's functioning-ish. And so this is like kind of you click on one of these items here and you end up on Nostr band, or you could take this node ID in the URL and go to any Nostr client. I assume you would say the same thing. You would see the same thing and kind of lists out what's for sale. In this case, someone's selling a CPU.
Wow. You can see the possibilities with this. So I guess my question is is Nostr Market running their own relay?
I don't think so.
Because I mean, wouldn't that how you would do it though? You would have to run your own relay to make sure only the stuff that's Nostr Market related in here, right?
No.
I mean, how would you build that on the back?
What's kind of cool about a lot of Nostr apps is, I mean, think about Damus. So Damus has a relay, but it doesn't need a relay. You can open Damus and you can connect to any other. You can not connect to Damus's relay and connect to other relays.
But I guess in this scenario though, if you had your own relay, and let's say there's a Nostr Market, I don't know, Russia or whatever, wouldn't they be more incentivized to run their own relay because they can just make sure that there's stuff that shouldn't be on there, could be on there, and not just all just hyperpopulated inside the page? Does that make sense? Am I making sense or no?
I think I think so. What you're saying is if you run your own relay, you can maybe have a little more control over what appears.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You probably could, but I don't think in this case they are. I think what they've done is what the smart thing to do is just write the client,
grab everything,
write the client, and then use other people's relays. Maybe they'll eventually need to run their own relay and censor.
But right now, just kind of go off and So last night we had ABC and there was a Nostr extravaganza. Oh my God, I've never been so over Nostr until like last night, and I love Nostr, but it was great. It was great. And one of the things that Christopher David said, he's making the ARC app, and he said that markets is the next phase with Nostr because that's kind of where he sees it going here in the next 12 months, which is fascinating. And then we see this on Stacker News.
I mean, I could definitely see that happening. You have now, a quasi payment system on
a really
Nostr.
good payment system.
I mean, it's certainly people are sending a lot of money around on it, and it operates on LNURL, and it's kind of good. I think it's like it's an iteration in a direction that I think ends up in a really cool place, and marketplaces will probably thrive in such an environment. But Christopher David is like knees deep in this kind of stuff. So
yeah. There's one from Uluk. There's a comment from, he goes, I miss Open Bazaar. Hopefully something similar will emerge again. And then Anarchio, the original poster, he said, I'm working on this marketplace, launched in 2021. And he links something there, a bit enjoy. But yeah, this is going to be really cool, man. That's awesome. Our next top story is late stage capitalism. We're just getting started. This is 12,000 sats. These are bull market
I have
numbers.
an old count here. Here we go.
33 comments from Tamales. Dude, these sats are higher than usual.
I don't know. All these Zap rich plebs out there coming in.
So what's this story about? What's late stage capitalism?
Oh, you don't. So are you not aware of? You haven't heard the term late stage capital? It's mostly it's mostly a Reddit thing, but it's like
what does it mean?
It's kind of like capitalism is kind of like we're moving on from capitalism because it's like devolving into shit. Basically, is like what the meme is these are all the bad things that capitalism has brought in its later stage. Like, yes, okay, there's the Industrial Revolution and all of it, and like freedom and prosperity and all this kind of stuff. But now it's garbage. Now capitalism is only producing garbage. That's what the late stage capitalism kind of meme is. But Tom Lays comes in and kind of presents a counter argument to late stage capitalism. And he basically says this is early stage capitalism, and we're actually doing pretty freaking great if you actually look at data and not just kind of like how you feel about the world. And so if you look at this graph is pretty representative of most of the posts, but if you look at it, what you can see is poverty has just like fallen off a cliff. And so there's like very little poverty. Democracy is on a pretty nice growth curve. Basic education levels on a pretty good growth curve.
Literacy important. That's important.
Yeah. Literacy is huge. I mean, especially can you imagine we have 8 billion people. If more of them are literate and learning and building things, how much better the world is.
More productive.
More productive. Child mortality, like very, very low relative to where it was only, about 100 years ago. I mean, I mean, vaccination also higher. I know we have a lot of like stuff around vaccinations, the recent vaccinations, but some of these vaccinations aren't really that controversial and are actually, pretty significant advancements. Overall, awesome. Just kind of try. It was a very pleasant post to read. It made me very hopeful when I read it.
That's man, I need to go back and read this over the weekend.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that me and Toshi always talk about inside the lab is like lazy capitalism. And you see that all the time. And I don't know where that fits in this or if you brought it up or not, but like even like at places like IKEA, right? Like they have furniture that they put at a discount for for stuff that gets brought back that's somewhat broken or not entirely, brand new. And instead of like lowering it down to somebody actually buying it, they will just toss it and throw it away so they can write it off as a loss instead of like making a small little profit on it. And you see that all the time in like department stores, especially. It's just like lazy capitalism. So I don't know where that fits in here, but if anything, I see more of that in the world. But that's beautiful that he put this.
Yeah, I think there definitely is a contingent of lazy capitalism. You go through and read the comments, some people I think take that point of view. I think there are things like that. I'm not exactly sure the dynamics of what's going on at IKEA. I suspect the margins on most of their furniture are actually quite small and might be why they take the loss instead. But I don't know. There's definitely bad capitalists out there, like evil ones and lazy ones. But overall, I think what I got from this post is like hope about even if we stay on a similar trajectory that we're on, it's still likely going to be to some degree better than it was before. I mean, in contrast, you have in developed worlds, at least, you have some of these, if you look at the graphs of like suicide rates among young women or young girls, like teenage girls, it's like doubled in the last like 10 years.
Wonder why.
Social media? It is social media. Yeah. Gosh. But like, so there are things that are definitely not getting better, but still there's a lot of these things, particularly at the lower end of things, that have been raised up quite significantly. And it's awesome to see. There's
a comment by Victory. He got 141 sats. He says, capitalism is self-healing and doesn't reach a late stage. Democracy does not self-heal. For example, it blames capitalism for everything instead. And we are in the late stages of democracy as a result. No one commented on that, but I thought that was well put. Okay. Next top story is Core Lightning community is now open. Build on L2. This is from Cointastical. One comment, 862 sats. Keon, what is this?
Build on L2 is a community from Blockstream. I think all of their
looks great.
Yeah, for all their products, they are basically creating.
This looks amazing.
Yeah, they're creating a community where you can discuss it. And this is the beginnings of it. They just launched it. They announced it like I think like 2 months ago, maybe. And this is kind of where they're at with it. It's pretty cool. You can see like Grubels is a moderator there, but a lot of the Blockstream devs are in here. People who are building on Core Lightning are in here discussing.
Everybody should have these. Like every implementation should have one of these. It's such a great, just for the sheer fact of documentation, right?
Yeah.
Or not having to go to a Slack channel or, a Discord.
Yeah. It's a significant improvement over a Slack channel, but even, I don't know where to learn about Core Lightning on a deep level in the same way that I do for LND. And this has been something
I thought LND had great documentation.
They do. They're worlds ahead, I think, of all the other implementations in terms of documentation. But they don't, this might be a superior, quite superior experience to that eventually. And so I hope
this is really nice to look at too. And it looks very friendly.
Yeah.
And that to me makes, at least from what I've seen, with other plebs that are getting into development, that's the thing that they talk about the most is just the user friendliness to everything and being inviting of these things. So really great job, man. Great job.
I mean, it only took them raising, I don't know, $400 million, $500 million, but it's still, it's pretty awesome.
Right. Okay. So our next top story is Steel Manning Ordinals Challenge. Oh, this one's from a no moto, 26 comments, 4,111 sats. Wow. What is this? I can only imagine.
Yeah. So Steel Manning is a term. I don't remember. I think I first heard it in the like what is it? Intellectuals group or whatever. The like Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, the Weinsteins, they all had this kind of group of people who were kind of counterculture. And I think that's the first time I heard steel manning, which is the idea of rather than straw manning your opponent, where you kind of argue against a weaker argument of his. Instead, you try to build a really great argument for your opponent and argue against that. And so Anomoto here asks for people to basically argue in favor of ordinals so that we might improve our understanding of ordinals and maybe gain a better argument against them if there is one to be had. And so it's pretty cool. If you go through the comments, it's really interesting to see a lot of Bitcoiners, dealing with that challenge.
There's one by K-Rook. He says, this is a fun challenge and always glad to support efforts that nudge people to think critically. He goes, my ordinal steelman argument is ordinals may be more effective tool for fundraising efforts than simply asking for sats. Giving participants a digital collective as seen by the recent Bitcoin Wizards ordinal sale creates a strong incentive for donations that otherwise wouldn't exist. And then he references the Bitcoin Wizard artist that stacked 668 million sats. That's cool, man. Good point.
Yeah, people are, I think what Kevin is saying there is people are more likely to give you money for something, even if it's, a JPEG, rather than nothing. So, but there's a lot of great arguments in favor of ordinals there. If you aren't an ordinal bull, and maybe you shouldn't be, but this will help you understand what the position of pro ordinal Bitcoiners are, and maybe have a better understanding of them in general. So really cool little challenge.
Right. This next one is Blue Wallet nightmare news. No problem. Darthcoin come to help. This is from Darthcoin, of course. 33 comments, 3,384 sats. What is Darth up to this time?
Darthcoin come to help. Yeah. So he, in response to Blue Wallet decommissioning or planning to decommission their custodial Lightning wallet, a lot of people are like wondering where they should put their sats. Mm-hmm. And Darthcoin come to help. He wrote a blog post, nice. Kind of telling you where to get some stuff, and kind of describes the situation, and kind of if you don't have a node already, this is what you should do. If you do have a node, this is what you should do. And he kind of goes through all of the instances or the personas of Lightning users that are out there, and how you might be able to end up in a better, or in a situation where, Blue Wallet doesn't shut down and you lose your sats.
Nice. Darth is one of my favorite stackers. He's always very insightful, and I love his articles. There's one from Publius G. He goes, fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hatred leads to suffering. But what the Jedi failed to teach you, what I have learned, is how to persevere to pass through the suffering and achieve ultimate power. And then Darth jumps in and he says, many people still do not understand the Star Wars saga. I suggest to all watching it again, the whole series, and focus all on Darth Vader's actions and words. And then he goes into a whole thing. So, he's a big fan of Star Wars. I forgot where I saw, I don't know if it was on Nostr or Stacker News. He like mentioned his like why he was called Darthcoin. It was kind of funny.
Oh, why is it called Darthcoin?
I forget. It's probably on his, like, go to his Stacker post, or it might even be on Nostr where I saw it.
Oh, okay.
But it was funny. I was talking to somebody at ABC last night, and they literally brought up Darthcoin, and I had no idea how popular Darthcoin was until I went to ABC last night, and just a regular pleb was like, yeah, like I was reading Darthcoin's article, and like, it's like, wow.
If you search around for like node node documentation or how to do XYZ with a node, Darth comes up all the time.
I wonder who he is. What if it's somebody we know?
No, apparently not. Apparently he lives in a foreign country and is running a Citadel. That's all.
Cool.
That's all I kind of know. I know he's very controversial among Stacker News users. There's several Stacker News users who want to block him. And I just
How can you block this guy?
I mean, he's very helpful.
He's very helpful.
I get that he can come off a little rough sometimes, but he's a teddy bear.
I think that's the thing I've realized with Bitcoiners. The more helpful you are, we'll tolerate you.
Yeah. It's all about work. That's about it.
Okay. I think that's it for the top 5 stories.
What did you want to cover next?
Yeah, I want to talk about TBD. So
okay.
Yeah, TBD launched C equals a Lightning service provider. It had 13 comments, was submitted by K-Rook, 2,356 sats. So from how I understood it, if you can go to their page, Keon, it says connecting the world through fast and low cost global payments. C equals is building tools and services to help connect the next billion people to the Lightning Network, making it easy to send payments instantly with Bitcoin. So as far as I understand it, this basically means that we now have more rails for projects and companies that are looking to, utilize the Lightning Network through an API. Right? Wrong?
I mean, I think that's true. There's not a bunch of details. I haven't really gone through all of it, if there is more than it's on the homepage. But basically, they're forming an LSP. They're basically doing what Breeze has been doing since 2017. What a lot of what Block Tank is doing through Synonym since as of about a year ago. This is the way a lot of people see monetization and really efficient Lightning payments happening is through entities like this, kind of forming these like super nodes and kind of helping apps or like mobile phone nodes running at home kind of get easily connected to the Lightning Network, provide another layer of usability on top of the existing primitives that exist in the Lightning protocols or the Lightning protocol itself. And so this is kind of what that does. And, you even see people like DZ. I don't know if you've seen DZ on Twitter, used to work at Cash App, used to do a lot of their Lightning stuff. And he's basically forming an LSP, like more or less it's maybe a de facto LSP. I don't know if he calls it an LSP, but he's providing swaps. He's doing things that LSPs traditionally do. I think, Bolt Observer is another like LSP like service. I think we'll see a lot more of this. I mean, it's certainly suggestive that Cash App has gotten in the space that we'll begin seeing a lot more of this. They obviously think a lot about profitability and what makes sense from a business perspective.
Does Zebedee have their own? Are Zebedee also doing this too as well?
I think they might have like private services for themselves, but as far as I understand, Zebedee is 100% custodial, and a lot of people see the bridge to a non-custodial future being LSPs.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I was talking to Santos this week, and he's going to be doing a workshop right before the hackathon, and it turns out like a lot of
hackathon.
SatsBuy. I'm sorry. I keep saying it. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, not everyone might not know we're having a hackathon. On which dates at Plub Lab?
Yeah, I should probably. I do a bad job of this, but we're doing a hackathon at Plub Lab and at the Bitcoin Commons down the street. It's on the 18th and 19th. There's a lot of projects, a lot of sats up for grabs. And we're having Justin Moon. He's going to do like a Fetty Mint workshop right before because we have a Chami and Mint category. And then we're going to do a Zebedee workshop. And I was talking to Santos this week about it, and it sounds like a lot of the stuff that Zebedee has at least built. It looks like it, like from what he was showing me with the deck and stuff and what he's going to be presenting, it's like already potentially built ideas and projects around their APIs and stuff like that. So I think this kind of fits in that same kind of framework where, for something like a hackathon that has like 100 people and let's say like, we don't know 40 of them or 50 of them, right? Like they can at least get started building right away utilizing like a Zebedee API or something like this or River or whichever one. So I don't know. It's going to be cool, man. It's also cool. There's one comment that says, this is from 03D1CD585. He goes, C equals the speed of light. And then some guy says, so that's it. That's why it's called C equals.
Yeah, that's a deep name, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, I know ZBD provides an API service, as does River. I don't think TBD is planning on providing an API service in that capacity, but more of an LSP, I think, in the Breeze fashion of LSP.
Cool. All right. And then the other story I wanted to bring up was the Ghost checkout. So this was from MASH. This was submitted by Jared, part of the team at MASH. 14 comments, 5,000 boosts, 2,803 sats. If you click on it, this is a big deal. This is a big deal for content creators. So Ghost, as you know, is like primarily I would say it's a blogger platform of choice right now. I mean, you could do WordPress, you could do those other ones, but Ghost really gives you a lot of really nice templates to use. It's a great starter way to like build out a blog or, move away from Substack. And so what MASH has created is a way for us to check out now with Lightning. And so we're seeing a lot of different variants of this. This is one of them. Albi hasn't created one yet, but you can do tipping like on Thriller, on thrillerbitcoin.com. Like I use the tipping feature that Albi has, and I get a lot of tips from there. I'm definitely going to use this now because this is something I've been waiting for a really long time. Marty's team at Scribe also does one, and that does one really well, but it has like it utilizes Ghost as well too. So there's a lot of different variations to this, but it's really cool to see, man. It's really bullish for content creators and for people that are looking to build their own content on their own independent platform like Ghost. So this is really needed, man. Really needed. I'm
not sure this is, my understanding of MASH is that it actually doesn't require using Ghost. I think I think the feature is just called Ghost Checkout.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure that's the case. I might be misunderstanding.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I think you can
it looks like Bitcoin Times has it set up. Donate right on the MASH button.
Yeah.
It says Ghost Checkout. Widgets, boosts, donations.
Yeah, but it doesn't say Ghost.
Oh, you mean like, it doesn't say specifically for Ghost. I should bring up though, Ghost is like really hard to have something like this. The fact that I could actually use something like this now on a post is a really big deal because there wasn't that, but you can drop HTML blocks or whatever kind of code in there.
Yeah.
And like I said, Marty has one too as well, Scribed. And other than that, there's really nothing else there. But it's good that you brought that up.
Yeah, I believe you can put this on any website you want, any tool. If you're building like a website or I don't know, really anything that you want to be Lightning powered, MASH will hook it up with. You just drop in a couple snippets of code, is my understanding, and you have like a Lightning enabled website.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Pretty dope. I was thinking of saying something else, but it's now slipped my mind. But yeah, exciting to see. Oh, that's right. This was some of the feedback they got. I remember when Jared came on Stacker News and was posting about MASH when it first launched, a lot of people were like, I don't want to sign up for an account. I just want to pay. And this is basically addressing that criticism that I kind of saw repeatedly about MASH. Otherwise, like the UX is great. It seemed they really seem to have figured out a lot of the problems that a user might have, but they really offer this awesome experience now.
I think myself included, like I'm using GetAlb, and it doesn't do a lot of these things that I would like for it to do. So that's really cool. And there's other people like me. I'm sure Darth is probably in the same situation. Darth Quinn.
Talented team over there. So looking forward to more of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think this is a huge unlock for people.
Huge. What do you got this week?
What do I got? I wanted to talk a little bit about Lightspark. I actually didn't get it. I didn't read much of this until right before we started this podcast, but I knew this was a thing. And I saw it all over the place. But I guess Lightspark has partnered with Zappo. And the reason why that's interesting to me is when did you read Digital Gold ever?
No. What is that?
Digital Gold was a book written about Bitcoin's history that a lot of Bitcoiners, I think, found very entertaining and fun to read. And I read that book a couple of years ago. And I remember one of the characters in the book was the CEO of Zappo, like the founder of Zappo.
Oh, interesting.
And this
is the Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss one.
Okay.
story, right?
I think it has them in there.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a really good book. Yeah, and the Zappo CEO and founder is in there. Very, reads like a very charismatic person at least, but he got into Bitcoin very early. And then he describes when he got into Bitcoin, he began handing out this David Graeber book called Debt, 5,000 Years a Slave, I think is what the title. And then I ended up reading that book. And that book was really good and informative. It really helped me think about money differently and understand Bitcoin from like a what is money perspective. But so that's why the Zappo bank thing interests me, because I kind of admire that guy to some degree, at least the extent that I know him.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what I know. From what I understand, Zappo Bank does a lot of custodies, a lot of different assets now, including Bitcoin, shit coins too, I think.
But it sounds like Lightspark is doing the back end stuff for it. At least for what I could gather from it, a lot of people were really happy about this because it kind of shows where a lot of their mindset and intelligence is going right now. It's probably, making more Bitcoin banks. I'm not going to fault that. Like this is pretty cool, quite frankly.
Yeah, no, it seems like what they've partnered with this Bitcoin bank to provide the Lightning part of their infrastructure. So maybe this is what Lightspark does. Kraken rolled out their own Lightning integration, but maybe Lightspark,
this is their first product.
This is definitely Lightspark's first thing that they've publicly announced that they're doing as far as development work. But maybe they could begin doing this for Coinbase or something, or some of the
interesting
provide people with the Lightning service that they, for some reason aren't providing currently.
Man, that would be amazing. And then people could start buying sats. Just
we could start listing sats, make sats the standard. You could buy a couple sats on Coinbase. Can you imagine that? How many like new plebs would get created in the world?
I mean, everybody starts at Coinbase, right? I mean, at least all the normies do. They go and buy the Doge stuff.
Yeah, but you see a sat there and it's actually it's gaining value. That'd be nice. I mean, or just, holding its value.
Yeah. Great story. What else you got?
What else do I got? So this is super stat segment. Top stackers of the weekend. Arc.io.
Wow.
Is a top stacker.
Why am I up there? I
guess you weren't. Oh,
that's crazy.
Did you create another account?
So I think I accidentally logged into an account, and I forwarded all the sats over to William. So I think that's what that is. Probably got all forwarded over. Right. Click on it. Can you click on it? I'm just curious. If you go to post, you click on it. Can you click on that post? It's a freebie. Yeah. Right there at the top. You missed it.
Oh, you forwarded
the tips. Yeah.
Okay. You forwarded it over.
Because he announced that he was dropping Dom. Oh, that's another thing. This week, I forgot. This is another big story. This week, the new Damus came out. So this is big.
Oh, it's only been on test. I've been using the test flight all this time.
Yeah, you need to get over to so he announced the new Damus, and I was all hyped up for it. Dude, it's amazing. The new Damus is beautiful. Gosh, man, hats out to the entire team at Damus. I'm sure he has help now. So.
I don't think he does.
Oh, he still doesn't?
I think he's still solo.
Oh, wow.
Is my understanding.
Dude.
I mean, I think the open source community is somewhat helping him, but I mostly see him coding on live streams alone.
Brilliant. All I got to say is brilliant. I can't, now I'm more bullish on, I talked about this with him, and I'm sure it'll get its place someday, but now I'm interested to see this Protoverse, man.
What is Protoverse?
Go read it. Remember we've talked about it on Stacker News before, where like probably when we first started talking about Damus, like last year, we were talking about Protoverse, but Protoverse is another like it's almost like an idea that he has that he could potentially build. Anyway, check out the new Damus.
Yeah, no, I've been using the new Damus in test flight. So I've had Zaps for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
That's why I didn't realize there was a new one out. I just thought it got released 2 weeks ago, but I guess he had been building like consistently and then did an official release.
Yeah, to everybody.
Yeah. I think there were also significant improvements. Like now, like your notification pane is better and you can kind of see your zaps up.
It's really good.
Way better.
It's really good. We signed up like 30, 40 people on Damus last night at ABC.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
What else?
Oh yeah, we didn't go into the top.
Yeah, we just went
Went
in
to it,
a rabbit hole. Merch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, stacked quite a few sats. Bataroo, Tom for his post about late stage capitalism. And then we have our top spenders, of course. Who do we got here? Wow. Now really sending them out right now. I think he got, oh, that's right. He got zapped 1 million sats by Jack Dorsey on Noster. Yeah.
Really?
And so he came
How?
here and so he's just been spending them like crazy on Stacker News.
So yeah, dude, that's the cool thing. Like on Stacker News, is I have my zaps connected, so I just see them all just come in. It's awesome. It's like I was already getting rewards from Stacker News, but now I check my B sats.
Derek Ross also uses a Stacker News account, and he gets more zaps than I do on Noster. Like his notification pane is like all zaps.
See, look at that. It's just all zaps.
Yeah, your guys' are all zaps. I have like one zap every couple of days.
It's because we're early users of Noster.
Yeah, so you guys have a nice following.
We have a nice following. That's what happens.
I don't.
That's what happens when you get in early, man.
Fiat Job spent 80K. I guess he probably paid a bounty.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got bested this week, which is kind of rare. Satman.
Blockchain
Boog in there.
Cool.
Nerd to Ninja. Max spent a lot this week. Foundation. Sea Monster. That's a kind of a new user, I think. Pi. Yeah. Lots of spending, lots of stacking, and great to see. Do we have any podcast comments this week?
Yeah, we do. We have Fountain. I have a question for you. How do you think? Let me just ask you straight. Like, how are you holding up with all the zaps? Like, I know you've kind of built this from the very beginning, and you've already been kind of. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time before there was Noster. So I would say like you kind of saw all this kind of happen before. Like you kind of saw the value. You and I would say you and definitely Oscar saw the value for value really working and like how it could be and so I guess from my perspective, like how do you see zaps like hitting your like infrastructure, your stack? Does it make it worse? Does it make it better? Like
as far as I can tell, it has no impact at all.
Cool.
It seems to be working perfectly fine. So
cool.
Yeah, but I know Fountain now uses ZBD. So
okay.
Yeah, so there's zaps. I mean, I assume ZBD probably supports zaps now. And so by nature, Fountain also supports it. So, and I assume ZBD has great infrastructure, right, given they they have a lot of money and a lot of employees. So
cool. I was just curious about that because I'm wondering like how something like Wallet of Satoshi is doing with.
Oh, I know they've had scaling issues. Yeah, I think that they probably have many more users using Wallet of Satoshi than Stacker News does. So they have a scaling problem of a different kind.
Cool. So we got a few comments. This was from SNL 56 Booger. Stacker News is boss. This is from Johnny Rico. We got Blockchain Book. He says, my blue wallet sats. And he's laughing. I guess that means he lost them or he's losing them. And then this is another from Blockchain Book. He said, car, yes, I love it, in response to whether we should be reading out the comments. So there you go, Keon.
Okay, fine. I just don't like it, but it doesn't matter what I like because I'm here to serve
Blockchain Book.
Yeah.
Blockchain and the rest of the stackers. And then he asked one more question. Are sats the new booger sugar? I don't know what that means.
I think it's probably in reference to the Noster relay I'm writing, but because it uses booger and people, I think, yeah. Anyway, great pod today. Yeah, great pod. What do you got going on this weekend? What do I have going on this weekend? Hopefully we can close a house, if not the house we just looked at. Nice. Rent it. I might never buy a house. Stay humble. What else am I doing? I got to write an investor update, just work, I guess, mostly work. And then I'll probably chill like maybe a couple hours on Sunday. How about you? What are you doing? We got LDK workshop tomorrow with Tony. This was great. This is a long time coming. Trying to get that guy to do one workshop. The wig. I'm going to start calling him the wig for a long time. Hair. So I imagine it's going to be epic. Carmen did the week before, then Paul did last week with the Rust thing, and the entire Mutiny team is just showing love to the rest of the devs inside the community here in Austin.
it's kind of cool. You get to learn from them.
Are you gonna start coding on SDK? What are you gonna build on, or what are you gonna build on LDK, dude?
I got way too much on my plate right now to be
Win Satoshi Pocket with LDK, dude.
Oh man, if I could go back in time. All right. With that, Stackers, we'll see you next time. Have a great weekend.
Goodbye. Zap.